And we are live. What is up, everybody? It's Brian from USA.Patriot.Cards. I'm here with my buddy, my card bestie, Jay Thorne 75. Josh, what's up, dude? It's been a minute since
What's
I've
up?
seen you in real life.
I
How's
know,
it
man.
going?
I was just thinking about this. I think I missed the last few live streams, so it's kind of cool to get in here and get my feet wet here after a little while.
This is a first for me on this channel, and it's StreamYard. I don't know if you've ever heard of StreamYard or used it, or if it's a first for you too. But
Yep, first time.
it's pretty cool. We'll see. But yeah, it's better than Zoom because Zoom seems to be a little bulky for me because I'm stupid. But
Nah, I think all those programs are like that. I have to use WebEx a lot, and it's just those programs, they're annoying, man. They're just not designed for like stuff that's not meetings, you know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is designed for like talking about sports cards, which we're gonna do right now. So we're late to the party because it's Friday night. They're probably in the lobbies right now trading as we speak.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we'll both be going bright and early. Um, let's see how long has it been? It's you skipped a show, so it's what's this 4 months for you since you've been in the
Gosh,
Marriott,
man. Well, we went to that one show in Arlington.
the
When was
baby
that?
show.
Was that? Yeah. When was that? November? Was it November?
That
Oh,
was
too long, man.
December,
Was it?
January, February. Yeah, I think it was December. I think
I
it was
think
right.
you're right. That makes sense. That makes sense because this is the second show of the year for the Dallas show. So yeah, that makes sense. I'll roll with that
Um,
tentatively.
I don't know, and I'm just this is as informal as it can be, but I see zero viewers, which
Huh?
is I
Zero
see
viewers?
zero. I see an eyeball that says zero next to it. We're gonna put this up anyway because we're recording it, so you might be watching it delayed. I don't know what I was expecting, but not zero. Anyway, maybe there are a couple out there that we just don't know about, but hopefully
Yeah.
it changes.
This would be for recording purposes. Reference.
Right. Nothing humbles you like starting a live and seeing zero 3 minutes in, but who cares? We're doing this because it's fun. And so yeah, let me ask you some questions. You can ask me some questions, and we'll try to keep
Yeah.
to about 30 minutes or so, just because we both got to get some sleep. It's almost like it almost feels like not Christmas. That's kind of a tired metaphor, but it's definitely more than just, oh, we're just going to stop by a show for a couple hours tomorrow. Like we got a room.
It's
We're
like a
going.
staycation, right?
It's a staycation. Yes,
Yeah.
and and there are so many people we're looking forward to see and just catch up with. What is it? What do you like best? Even if you go and you don't spend $2, right, and you just come back, what are you gonna get out of it? And why is the Dallas Card Show special?
I mean, I think the show is special just because, like, I attribute it to like the first time I went. I remember watching I used to watch Sasha T, when I first got into cards,
Hmm.
and you would see him looking at like all these crazy cards, and then you go to the Dallas show and it's like in real life. It's almost like it's like a concert, like when you see like an artist on TV or whatever, then you see him in real life.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of surreal for a while, and like now, um, just after talking to people and developing relationships has been great. And I think doing trades online and then being able to reference the people I met at the shows and they have a reputation with other people, that's been really cool to see, like, to build that network. You know what I mean? Like you build your own little network of people and it's cool to have that and to be involved in it.
Yeah, and how many people do we know by the deals we made with them? Like, "Hey, that's that blue ice Mahomes guy," or, "Hey, that's
Yeah.
the a purple guy," or whatever. Let's see, w I'll never forget the, camo, what's his name? Derrick Henry, our friend.
Yeah, Baldy.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dear God, I hope he doesn't see this, but we're gonna come see you tomorrow, Baldy. Last time I was there, he had a sick, Megatron, like a Topps Chrome color matched auto,
Oh,
uh,
damn.
rookie,
That's cool.
yeah, of Calvin Johnson, and, it was way overpriced, I think. Looking at it, and it was like, I don't know, he had 25 or 3,500 on it, but I was like, "God, that's a really impressive it's a sexy card, color match and everything."
Yeah.
Um, I asked him how he comped it, and I can't remember what he said, but yeah, he's forever the Derrick Henry, and the reason that's special is because, I don't remember even what I got in that trade, but I traded him a PSA 9 camo auto Derrick Henry. It was a nice card, and the next day, Derrick Henry did he blow his knee out for the rest of the year? What
It
was
was something. It was his ankle or his knee or something.
he was
Yeah,
done for
but he was done. Yeah, but then remember, he took that card. It was a PSA 9, but he sent it to BGS and got a 9.5,
did
and then
he?
he got rid of it. Yeah. Then he
Hey, real quick, what's the word? Because you have your ear to the NFL, like, ground way more than I do. What's the, story with Derrick Henry? Is he an unrestricted free agent, or are they gonna
No,
trade
I think the Titans have realized that they're kind of in that position where, like, they're in, like, the purgatory. Like, the teams are, like, they're good, but they're not great, and they're just not they're never gonna be able to get over that hump
I no
without just
idea what
blowing
you're
it up.
talking 0 clue. Like, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so clearly, like, I have no idea what you
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And, I mean, Derrick Henry still has some value right now. I mean, I've heard the Chiefs were interested in him, the Bills, obviously. But you know what? It's not talked about a ton.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I mean, it hasn't got a ton of traction, but I hope the Chiefs don't get him. I like Pacheco, and I like their running game and the way that they're building their team out. They don't need to spend 10 million on a running back right now.
No, especially since you let Tyreek go. Like, don't use that money super wisely because it was a ballsy play and it worked out. I mean,
Yeah.
you go spend that money dumb. I don't know. It doesn't seem like you're maximizing that risk that you took, but
There I did hear that the Chiefs are going to be probably going to move on from Frank Clark, their defensive end,
yeah.
which that doesn't bother me. That guy's not that good. He's kind of streaky, but like this is the thing where like when you look at a dynasty team like think of the Patriots, it's like players start moving around more, coaches leave and come, and it's like the testament to see how great you are when things start to, when a dynasty starts being created. So I'm pretty excited about that team.
Yeah, and if you can home grow your own, running back like they have on a rookie deal, like, why would you yeah, I hope the Chiefs don't sign, Derrick Henry either, but it does can you imagine Josh Allen and Derrick Henry, like, running like an
Yeah,
or, like, just damn, that's pretty insane. That would be cool to see.
yeah. It's almost like you want to sign him just so somebody else can't get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Alright, so let's talk about the show, I mentioned earlier in our video I did. I've been trading so much and getting rid of so much bulk that I'm kind of down to a really just core collection, core PC that I don't really have a lot that I want to move. Normally, when I go to a show, I'm like, man, I got this big case. I'm going to go try to trade up for a bigger card. I've done that so much now that it's now, my trade fodder, my trade chips are very thinned out. So it feels like sort of a starting over for me because I have to either spend cash or not get new cards. I mean, essentially, it's
Yeah.
I've been liquidating a bunch of stuff, but so I feel even sort of with you because you're at the same place, but you took a different road. Got in and you sold way before the crash even happened. Like,
Yeah, I think I was out like, gosh, man, October or November of last year. Like I remember I sold that Aqua. Remember the Aqua Herbert
mhm.
PSA 10 for like 2,500 bucks. That was like my last big like sale. And then I tried a lot of grading stuff and just never really like caught. But but that was all just willy nilly stuff. Like the good stuff that I had was gone. Was
Right.
all gone. Like anything of like value. I mean, outside of that, gosh, dude, I don't even know the last time I had a card that was like worth over 500 bucks. Like, all the other ones are like just small stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and when it comes to like, having to purchase, because I'm used to doing these deals of 10, 15, 20, 30K, right? But I'm not
Hmm.
putting any money in. That's just cards. And
Yeah,
most of those cards I got when the market was low and I rode that out. So like let me tell you something. It's a lot different to trade into a 10K card than it is to like count out.
yeah,
It's
I agree.
I can't do it. I just can't do
I,
it. S-
you know what, man? I would like, honestly, I think that was probably my biggest like reason of what pushed me out was that I sold stuff, but I was unwilling to pay that cash back in. Like I got like I remember I sold some like Deshaun Watson, then had like 3,500 bucks, and it was like I couldn't get myself to put that kind of cash down on one card to get going again, especially when the market was kind of unsure. It didn't really feel very comfortable to be putting money in like that. So, um, yeah, that's what makes it really tough, especially right now. It's like trying to figure out like you know um what the game plan is because just like you're saying, it's like when all the no-brainer stuff is gone, what's the next move,
Yeah, is it to go like what we see a lot of now is people trying to go to shows, maximize their cash value. So they're buying it 80% comps, whatever, 75%. And then they either take it to Whatnot, which seems to be where like everyone's going, which I wouldn't sell on Whatnot. You couldn't get me to sell on Whatnot for anything. No way. You're talking about
Yeah, they're grimy.
going to a small auction situation where you've got a crowd of what, 30, 40, 50 people. If you're a big
Yeah.
auctioner, a big channel, you got 100 people, like no way, I'm taking that to eBay all day. But anyway, do you try to claw up and like, turn 3 into 5K over a couple shows and then take that money and or do you, I mean, like I literally have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. What are you going to do? Are you looking to go raw to grade? Um, do you have a
I
plan at all? Are you going to pick up something just cool and be like, "Hey, I got a cool card. I'm good with it."
Well, I think that the first step, I believe, is being comfortable with the types of profits that are there now. It's not this like you're gonna turn 3, 4, 5x in your cards, and um I think for me, what I might do is first of all, I have this stack of Pokemon cards. I got this little stack right here. I got so once these are gone, I think I'm just gonna buy like just liquid player cards, like even if it's like optic bases or optic hollows or just of the players that people want. Because that's the thing is like if you have the right players, you can always sell them, right? And then just grading a bunch. Like what's this? I got your boy right here, man. Brunson. I have
That's
a Brunson optic hollow, and I'm like, well, 15 bucks, man. I'll just send them all in, and it. But the thing is, it's like maybe it's only 50 bucks, you know. But the thing is, I think that just not letting whatever it is, not letting the money leave, like if it's like this batch here, just rolling it into maybe some raw stuff or whatever, and then just let it grow. I mean,
Not letting it leave, like, not taking out of your card money and putting it into life, like, making it
yeah,
stay here.
yeah. And I think also for me personally, like my life situation is much better than even what it was like, 6, 8 months when the car market was going down. Like, and that's the thing I think that people had to go through is like, it kind of felt like cards are more disposable income, like if you're just gonna invest in cards, like that's scary to me. But like you have to have your home base right, you know what I mean? And then it doesn't feel so like uncomfortable when the market's moving, because it's not like you're putting your life savings or like your entire credit card in this because it's not the margins it can't support stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, and that's the way it felt that's how it was before the big boom. I mean, people were just
Yeah.
in because it was cool to buy, and Luca Silvers were $100 raw, and you could pick them up all day long. You could get an Upper Deck Griffey PSA 10 for $400 and stick it in your case, and you had one. And and 2 months down the road, it might be 380 or it might be 430, but there weren't these wild swings, and it wasn't as scary as it seems to be today. We one of the things we have like three talking points. We're not going to be on here all night, but one of the talking points we wanted to talk about was um, comps and on bigger cards. If we let's take for instance the card that we talk a lot about is the Luca 2018 Prism Blue Ice. It's out of 99. I wish I had one so I could show you, but I don't have one yet. But it's one of the cards I do want to get at some point. And we're looking at the last comp on that was in November. What do you do with a card like that hasn't sold since November, October, when the market was much different? If you're trying to trade into it or do a partial trade in cash, um, where are you comfortable? Can the seller ask for like the last comp that happened in November? And how do you get? And if not, how do you get to a fair comp?
Yeah, I mean that's like the $1,000,000 question because it's like, you know, and here's another part. It's like at what point is the amount of cash you're putting in warranted to get you the last comp? You know what I mean? If you're putting in like say as another card like is like if you're 70% cash and 30% cards, why should you have to pay a huge premium to trade? You know what I mean? Like, say if a card is I don't know, $15,000 card and you're spending 10,000 cash, it's like, well, dang, dude, like, you know, at the amount of money I'm putting in, I'm really only about a couple grand away from what it went for last. You, you know what I mean? It reminds me of that Mahomes Hollow, where like, um, it's just like sometimes you get so close, and then it's like at some point it's like, well, dang, I'll just wait for the next one to pop up because you're asking so much of me that I'll wait. And I think that's the element of like this trade thing that we're talking about is I think how hard is it to get the particular card, and I think that has a value to it, and it's just so subjective. You know,
Yeah, because
what do you
chances
think?
are, if there's not a comp since say November, it's because that card is probably not going to auction. Well, clearly it's not going to auction or not being transacted uh,
Hmm.
much at all. So it has to be rare or it has to be super expensive. Then you ask yourself, was the last comp even true? Or was it like somebody protecting this card that they also own and they don't want to see it like, to see a true price discovery because they're afraid of it? Um, that's a real thing where, back in 2018 or and before, you would shill bid, or not you, like people would shill bid their own cards. You're getting tired, I can see it. You
No, dude, I'm
tried
good. It's just part of the game.
they would shill bid their own cards, right? I'm throwing the
Yeah,
card up on eBay and I'm going to get you or my other friend or somebody else to go, hey, bump it up to like 800 or, whatever. We shill it, right?
yeah,
Now it's, hey, somebody's got the like, the hollow Mahomes up and they're selling it and it's at auction and I own one. So it's their card, but I'm going to shill bid it up because I'm trying to protect the one that I own. That's
yeah,
that's a total 180, right, from where shilling used to be. And
yeah,
now these sellers are getting frustrated because it's like depending on the size of the card, you got auction houses that are not getting paid. Items are not getting paid for. People are throwing these phony bids up, and then here's a comp, and it's not real because it never got paid for. And there's really no way to check that, right? I mean, Card
yeah.
Ladder puts a little verified check, but is that? I mean, does that? I don't know. This
It's really interesting, really, if you think about it, because it's like what's real. It's like the West world, man. Like what's real and what's not real. You know what I mean?
there's no way to know what's real, and that's what's scary, and that's why it's easier to trade into something than it is to just peel off a bunch of like money because who knows what shenanigans have taken place to prop that card up or not. And I think you said it best when we were talking about it before we went live. As long as you're collecting and getting stuff that you like, that's the name of the game right there, right?
Yeah.
Because
If you gotta be stuck with it, man, you might as well like it.
yeah, if you got to get totally killed on a deal, might as well at least like the player.
Exactly.
Um, Speaking of players, question number 2 of 3. This is our second of 3 questions. What does Luca have to do to stay where he's at? And by that, I mean Luca's twice as much as Jason Tatum right now. He's been that way for the past 2 years. Neither one of them has won a championship. I don't know if that gap has closed a little this year. I know Luca started really hot and he's kind of cooled off. He's hurt right now. But what is if Tatum wins a championship? Are we going into the offseason where Tatum stuff is twice as high as Luca's?
I don't think so. Like it's like I think people are just too invested. You know what I mean? Like people are just way too invested to let Luca drop. Um, I'm just trying to think. I don't know of any other example of a guy that's was like the top because I mean the only comparable to him is like Mahomes, but Mahomes is winning. You know what I mean? So um, I don't know, man, because I don't think that basketball is that popular anymore. Like I don't think there's as many people, and I think that like Dallas fans, that's another thing, is the market that the players are in, and even though Boston is a huge market, I mean they let Tatum stuff come down. So
But,
I,
that's interesting that you say that basketball is not as popular anymore because for a minute when it was running hard, that's all people wanted.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
basketball only. I'm only basketball. It was like you had your sports card collectors, and then you had your I'm just a basketball card guy. Period. And those guys are gone.
yeah, and and it goes. The thing that I noticed interesting is that being here in Texas is that it's all about football, dude. You know what I mean? Like our local market is way more football, and I've heard that basketball is a little more popular on the West Coast, like at the West Coast shows. But like here, and I imagine it's in most places that football is like far and away the most popular sport in America right now, and it's reflective of like in the sports card world.
Yeah, now that I think about it, those guys, these young, like almost sneakerhead type collectors that got in and they're young and they had. Remember, we'd walk around the show and there'd be these kids that were like 17 to 20, and they'd have like cases with like $500,000 worth of cards in them, and they'd have
Yeah.
wads of cash that they'd just be going around and like, you know, those guys were dealing straight basketball. That was all they were dealing in. That's when the
Yeah,
PSA 10 Jordans were doing what they get up to $500,000,
more than that. I think they got to 750.
and now they're at what 120.
Yeah.
And Jeff Wilson has bought how many? I
Way to
refuse,
fail.
I refuse to apologize for my. I don't hate him, but he cringes the bejesus out of me. And I don't know if you've seen his new the Jeff Wilson show. Have you seen that? I mean, he has so many fucking shows, like it's getting hard to keep up. But the one
Dude,
with the girl that interviews him,
I I watched it for a few minutes, and then when like I seen that this is gonna be like a life story of Jeff Wilson, I'm like, yo, I'm out. I'm out.
then
Like,
you didn't stay to the end where he compares football teams to drinks. Did you see that part?
no. Uh-uh.
It's like this concocted like thing where they're like, she's like, okay, now Jeff, I'm gonna ask you about, let's do something fun. Let's just do something fun. I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna name a drink, and then I want you to give me a football team that corresponds to that drink. Most people would say, wait, what? He's like, okay, like, yeah, let's do
That
that.
sounds great.
It's
That's a great idea.
he throws out let's see, the Dallas Cowboys, she said uh pina colada. And no, it was what's the Mexican drink? Margarita.
Tequila? Okay.
Margarita.
Margarita.
I think it was it was one of those, pina colada or margarita. And
Okay.
he's like, the Dallas Cowboys, because it's sticky sweet, there's no substance, it's artificial. I'm like, that's a bad take, really, because I mean, I get that they're America's team and maybe they're given some like love they shouldn't be getting, but what does that have to do with fucking like margaritas? Like nothing. And then I guess the San Francisco 49ers were, oh, what was it? Oh, Mai Tais. Do you even know what a Mai Tai is?
Yeah. It's like a blue. It's blue. It has like, oh man, Midori. I think it's Midori. It has a bunch of stuff in it. I've had them before. I've partaken in those.
He said that a Mai Tai was dependent on all the ingredients working together, and that if just one ingredient was subpar or missing or like whatever, then the whole thing wouldn't work. And that's the 49ers because of their quarterback position. And, that's the one ingredient they're missing. And it's like, I don't know. It just seemed like a tired, like weird way to talk about sports cards when
Yeah. On next week's episode, what's your favorite basketball team that's like a fast food place?
right.
Who's the McDonald's in the basketball world?
And he started, the title of it was like I hate all these people that hate me, all these naysayers, and why they drive me to be better. And it was basically like, I've been unpopular since high school, but I still was like the most like successful person. I don't know. It just, that
Yeah,
dude
it's weird, dude.
irks the bejesus out of me. Let's go one more question. It's getting late. We've talked about Luka versus Tatum. We've talked about reverse shilling.
So let's talk about what your plan is for the show. Like, what's your goal moving into this show?
I have a lot of Otanis. I have some Acunas. I have some, and they're all PSA 10s. I have some, I have this card, this Vladdy. This is my last Vladdy, but it's a Kaboom PSA 10. I have some stuff that's just got a little bit of value, but I have no need or want for it. So I would love to find a card that I could throw a bunch of little shit at and maybe throw in a little money. And this, if I could just get one card tomorrow, I mean, I'd probably be happy. But something cool like a Dirk or also I want to grade these. Let me get your thoughts on this. Okay.
Okay.
So Beckett has a deal where you can drop them off. They also have a
Okay.
grade at show but like it's 150 to get it at the end of the show, and it goes up from there. That's too much, right? Like,
Well, unless you're gonna move it at the show, then yeah.
yeah, right. Okay.
Like if you need it, then it makes sense. But if you don't need it, then it doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna drop these off. I don't know if let's see. It's a Mark Hamill. It's a nice card for Star Wars. I'm gonna
As an
get this.
auto, that's sick.
Yeah, this Carrie. Look at that Carrie Fisher, dude. But these have
Yeah,
been.
that's an awesome card.
It's super awesome. It's not sealed though. I feel like it needs to be in a slab. What about this? I was thinking about grading this.
What's that dual patch?
Just dual patch of Harden and Chris Paul. It's a gold out of 10. It's not sealed. I don't think. I think it'd be like $40. I mean, this could be like a $500-600 card if it was in a
Yeah, why
nice.
not?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they're I'd just send that one in like a normal, like the
Yeah, no,
whatever.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop these off, and then they're gonna mail them back, and it's all normal.
Okay.
The plus is I don't have to mail them. I'm just gonna drop them
Yeah.
off at the show. This is the main one. This has to be in a slab, right?
What is it?
It's a game used select Kobe.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I remember that card. Yeah, dude, definitely. Those are like with the price of the grading, it's like it just makes a ton of sense to do. You know what I mean?
I was gonna grade this. It's a Luke
That's your Luca, the RPA.
the Donruss RPA. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I mean, why not? I'm not gonna sell it or trade it, so I was gonna grade that too.
To Dirk too.
Because it's not sealed. I was going to grade this. What do you think about that? Like, should I grade that?
What is that? That's
that
the
one.
Luca.
No, that's that Dirk. Remember that
I know what
Dirk?
you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, like at 15, $20, $25, like you're talking about a situation where, I mean, dude, like where you're protecting your card for not really that much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you put it in a one touch, and then I mean, that's $4 or $5 right there. So you're talking about, okay, well, if I pay 60% more, what is that? $10, you pay another 10, $15, you can have it in a graded like slab, you know what I mean?
How much does BGS charge for
I
standard?
think they're like 20 or 25 now. They're not much.
And that doesn't matter. Like the price of the card doesn't matter, right? Like it does with PSA.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. At $25 all day. I was going to grade this. Look at that card.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. And then this one I just got.
Yeah, the Bo Jackson, yeah.
The Bo Jackson game use, which they are just not out there. And then these last two Bobby Witts. They're just because to me, Beckett is better for like these thick cards.
Baseball. Oh yeah.
I would never grade a unless I was like, well, this won't gem, but it might 9.5. Like the thin cards, like the prisms and the optics and stuff, they just go better with a PSA case, I think.
Yeah.
The
I think the other thing with what you're doing too is like, everybody gets a card that's like their grail card, right? But things change, man. So it's like, if you have your cards in slabs, you can move them if you need to. Like,
right.
I don't know, man. If you're going for a Dirk logo, man, and someone's like, "Well, I really want at least a patch auto of Dirk because I really like him," and you're like, "Well, I have this 9.5 like NT patch." You know what I mean? So you never know when you might need it.
Yeah. No, it makes it more liquid for sure. One thing I wanted to touch on before we go. I was kind of prepping out my cases, right? The two cases. You'll see the dolly tomorrow. I'm going to bring it.
Yeah,
I have the two cases.
bring it back.
I'll be wheeling my dolly around. But I'm at that point, like I said, man, where it's like, well, I don't have a lot I want to trade, but hell, I got to bring something just in case I do see like a Dirk logo man or something like really nice. I've got to bring some good shit, right? So.
Yeah.
My tip for you guys out there is have your your best stuff, the stuff that you would only trade if you're going to get that one special big card or whatever, right? Have that tucked away somewhere. Don't have that in your main case. Okay, so when you say, "Oh man, I like that card. How much is it?" It's 8K. Oh, we take trades? Yeah, I'll look at trades. Okay, and then boom, here's my entire like case, my Zion case or whatever. Here, boom, all my cards. Well, they start flipping through it, you know, and then this $800 card looks good to them. They might pull it out, but then they get over here to your good shit, the stuff that you really don't want to trade, and they start pulling this stuff out. All of a sudden, they don't want this anymore, and they put it back. So you have to have a way to like be able to carry those good cards with you just in case you need them, but don't show them, right? Don't play those cards until the very end if you can't get there with your other mid range.
Yeah. And that's one of those like fundamentals, you know what I mean? Like that you should always go to the show with, stuff kind of held back that you don't want to move. And then if you really don't want to move it, just leave it at home. you
Yeah,
know?
right. I'm leaving some stuff here. Yeah, but like I'm bringing the camo Mahomes. I'm bringing um, some of the Lucas that I have just in case. I'm bringing the gold Mahomes just because hell, who knows?
Yeah,
If
man.
somebody offered,
That'd be a nuts thing
hey,
to
if
leave
somebody
to leave
offered,
without that card.
if somebody offered me 50K for that, let me see where it is. Hold on. If we're walking around tomorrow and somebody sees this and offers me $50,000, and I look at you and I say, Josh, what should I do with this gold select field level, true gold to 10, Mahomes rookie 95? Somebody offers me, let's say it's Remington, right? He offers me 50K for this. And I look at you and I say, I don't know, dude. What should I do? What are you telling me?
Man, I'd probably tell you to ask for some in cards too. Like maybe 5, 10K in cards, but just to maximize what you can get out of it. Because sometimes you'll see people willing to go a little more if you can add cards. It works both ways, right? It kind of started the conversation there, but man, I don't know. I think even at 50, I don't think it's probably pretty fair. Like
We go ahead.
I think was it the optic went for 30, and that's not really that. This is a much better card than that. Way better. I don't know what a Prism Gold would go for these days. That's the thing. You'd have to figure out where that goes for.
Me and Wes were looking at Tom Brady comparables, right? Because Tom
Hmm.
Brady was a little older, came back, 2000 when they didn't have the select, they didn't have some of the
Hmm.
RPAs and stuff. So his best card is a Bowman Gold out of 99.
Oh
A
wow. Okay.
9 sold for I think 288 or $388,000. Um, so
Recently,
this
like
was,
last six
I
months.
think. And then after that, since then, there was a 9 that sold for 200 something. So it's a huge card, right?
Yeah.
We were debating whether or not Mahomes could this card ever get to 300K if he wins 5 6.
Mm, that's a good question because although there is other golds out there like the prisms and optics and stuff, there is 99 of the Brady's. Um, I think it would take time because the thing about Brady is that Brady appeals to the generation of people that have more money. You know what I mean? Like you're like younger people right now love Mahomes. Say like you're maybe in your teens or 20s. You just don't have the money. Like if he gets that far down, I think you're good. Yeah, I do. Because younger people are more willing to look at like let's see, unique sources of investment than like older people. You know what I mean? So I think that I wouldn't be surprised if it's a more normal thing. And like as football is getting more popular, you're talking about the player that is probably the most clear cut best at the most important position, and he has the accolades to go along with it, and he has a personality too.
And
Like Brady was a little bit kind of boring. Mahomes is a pretty cool guy.
he's a cool guy, but he's safe. And with all the bullshit
Yeah.
we see, whether it's Jaw, whether it's Jamar Chase, did you see that shit?
No, what do you do?
His girlfriend said she's got videos that can basically get him kicked out of the league, and she's threatening to take him to like what's his name, the commissioner, Goodell.
Oh, Dave Stern. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I'm
He's like,
thinking of basketball.
he's not paying his child support or something, and she's like, let's be real, Jamar. Like, and I know that I could basically get you kicked out of the league in like 2 seconds with videos of you beating me that I have and that I haven't shown anybody yet, but she's talking about it now. So you're looking at Jamar Chase, you're looking at Shaw, you're looking at LeBron with the PEDs out of like nowhere all of a sudden. I mean, what happens if LeBron James gets like Tatised? I mean, people are so ready to hate that guy. If the league lets LeBron James get Tatised, that's bad for sports.
But see, that's what you're talking about. The sport will hurt. You know what I mean? Because you're talking about the larger than life guy, and then I think it would bring the whole sport back. I think it'd bring basketball backwards.
Oh, it'd bring basketball backwards. It'd bring sports card collecting backwards. It'd bring the whole Fanatics investment backwards, because people all of a sudden would think LeBron James was the most sure like player to put money into aside from Tom Brady. He's at the end of his stuff. He's won all these championships, top scorer. You can be at the last minute of your career, and if a PED scandal hits you, what would that? Okay, I don't want to go too much longer, but what would that do to his prices? Let's say he's at 100% maxed out of his value right now. Okay.
Mhm.
Where would he be if it comes out that LeBron James has been using PEDs to extend his career for the past 3.5 years, let's just say? What percentage of his worth would drop? What we're looking at now is 100%. What would it be after that information is dropped?
He'd be like Barry Bonds. He'd be the Barry Bonds.
But does that make him uncollectible? Does that make him like, would people like run from his shit? I mean, like, where would that leave his card specifically?
Because most people that have his cards think of it. There's like this old idea. This happened because I had a lot of Kobe, so I've seen a lot of this. Is that people think that they can grab the card and tuck it away for 10 years and it's going to be worth a bunch of money. Well, if you put that on his resume, then he's not on the pantheon with Kobe and Jordan and all those other guys. He's just not, He's going to be like that's why I was saying Barry Bonds, like I don't like he's obviously not respected like the other baseball greats, and he's what has the home run scoring league.
He's literally LeBron James. Literally, that's
So whatever like other players would be to him is I think what happened to LeBron. Like but I also don't know. I don't know any of his prices and stuff. I mean, most of those guys got in trouble. McGuire got in trouble too. Oh man. But that was a big thing. But you know what? You might even be better off in baseball with that type of a scandal because it's a little bit more. Although it's very bad, it's a little more normal. Like you don't ever hear of a basketball player.
Right. There was an entire era of baseball, steroids baseball. It went on for 10, 15 years. But this would be a shocker. You know my disdain for LeBron James. You're a Laker fan. You tolerate him, I think, as a Laker fan. But even I would not wish this on him because of what it would affect in terms of everyone's bottom line that is watching this. It would be bad across the board for sports. So hopefully, even if he is guilty, he gets away with it and let him ride off in the sunset. Maybe this will scare him off and he'll be like, you know what? I'm not going to play with Bronny. I'm done. Sort of like Jordan did. Maybe he'll go play some baseball.
Yeah, you know what's funny is nobody ever talks about that, but like the odds are is Jordan got in some real hot water, man, and kind of
100%. And then his dad got killed. Are you going to tell me that his dad was just like this random? He was just on the,
on the side of the road.
yeah. Like there's so much that's not known about that whole saga.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, we got to get some sleep. Got a big day tomorrow. My plan is for lots of content to be recorded, chopping it up. Maybe we'll go do some more lives from the card show tomorrow. But yeah,
Well, if anybody's watching and you're going to the show, man, make sure you come and find us and say what's up.
yeah, definitely come say what's up. And I don't have any stickers. I'm not Mojo, but I'll definitely dap you up. And yeah, maybe you
Give you a
can.
high five, good old fashioned high five.
All right, Josh, it was good, man. See you tomorrow,
All right, see you tomorrow, brother.
brother. All right, later, guys.
Bye, everybody.